Today we're going to do a Q&A. Do you know these little books that you had when you were a child and everybody had to answer questions? Well, this was mine when I was about 11, 12 years old, I guess. And I'm first going to read all of these questions and answer them when I was like that old, but I'm also going to answer them when I was this age. Yeah. Okay. So, my name is Sanne, and it means lily. My birthday is on the 5th of January, 1987, I was born. So, that's still the same. And I misspelled January so hard here. But that's fine. I've got 2 brothers and a younger sister. So, 2 older brothers and 1 younger sister. So, I'm the 3rd one. My favorite school assignment was writing. I can't remember that I loved writing that much, but I can't remember that you had to do exercises to write beautiful. So I was really actually very funny in that. I wanted to have everything perfect, and I still do have that. I studied graphic design and I love filling in notebooks and all that stuff. I've got a diary and I always want to write very beautiful in it. It doesn't always work, but I still love it. So, my favorite book. My fairy tale book. That's so funny that I wrote it there. I love fairy tales and I still love fairy tales because there's so much meaning in those stories. But my favorite book for now must be... Well, I'm a Potterhead. I love Harry Potter. My most favorite film. I can't read it. It's actually funny if you know that my favorite subject was writing. It has something to do with The Prince and the Beggar, I think. I remember it was a movie of Mickey Mouse, so they switched places, and I love that idea. My favorite movie for now is Finding Neverland. I love that movie. Beatrix Potter, love that as well. So I'm a Potterhead in more kind of ways that you can imagine. Frida, I love that movie as well, and I think you can see like a pattern here. I just love movies about artists and how they make their art, and I love movies that give me inspiration, that if I watch them I'm just like, I have to draw right now. So those are always movies that do it very good with me. My favorite TV show, Samson and Gert. And that is a kids TV show. It's about a guy with a talking dog. But my best TV show now is, well, I'm not only a Potterhead, I'm also Woohevian. Doctor Who. Yeah, so I love watching Doctor Who. I'm a little bit geeky. Other TV shows that I loved Sense8. Damn you, Netflix. You're not going to make it anymore. But I loved it. It was so good. And I just love science fiction. So that's also science fiction, geeky, all that stuff. Then, my favorite animal when I was a kid, it was a kitty. I was so creative. But I do remember that later on, I always wanted to be an owl, because you had Winnie the Pooh, and the owl was there very wise and very mature. So I wanted to be the owl because I wanted to be wise. So I always said like, I want to be an owl. But now, which animal would I be? What kind of life do you want? Do you want a lazy life or an active life? But it can be fun to fly. So an owl, but the owl is at night. I don't want to fly at night. I want to fly in daytime. Do I want to eat seeds or do I want to eat mice? How is that bird called again? The one with the red breasts. A robin? Red robin? Yeah, I want to be a red robin. I love birds. I absolutely love birds. So I'm going for a bird, a small bird that is colorful, and a robin. What do I want to be when I grow up? And this is funny. I wanted to be a baker so I could make all of this little pastry thingies. And I wanted to be that because I saw a documentation about a pastry baker and he made like little cupcakes of dinosaurs, and I was like, oh my god, looks so much fun to do. I want to be a baker. Only because of that I wanted to be a baker. And the other thing that I wrote down here is I want to be a painter. So I think I did quite okay becoming an illustrator in my grown-up life. Yay! I did it! I just achieved my kids' dreams. But now, the questions that you sent me. The first one, if you were an animal, what would you be? Well, we just said that. I would want to be a robin. Then, who is your hubby? How did you get started? I think there are two questions. I don't know, but my hubby or my boyfriend is Jan Willem Kalabouts, and he's the love of my life. It's not just a boyfriend anymore. We're practically married. We're not, but yeah, we live together. We're going to buy a house together, all that stuff. So we're practically married. He's so cute and he's so funny and he's very, very sweet. And he's 6 years younger than me. That was an adjustment for me. Next question. How many freckles do you have? Well, my boyfriend did ask this question and I think he can answer that better than me. But I've got a lot. They're not always that visible, but in the summer I've got even more. But I love my freckles. I really do. They're my funky, cheerful personality on my face. So I love them. Next question. Do you remember a special moment when you started to be body positive? No, I can't. I always try to pinpoint the moment, but it is something that just happened to me. I can't tell you what I did to get there. For example, I started drawing full of freckles. But before that, I was already very aware and frustrated about the way people talk to me. It seemed that I always had to prove myself, like, hey, I'm fat, but I'm also nice. Hey, I'm fat, but... And I hated that, so I just like, oh, fuck off. I just didn't do it anymore. I thought I always had to excuse myself for my appearance. At one time, I just was like, oh, people just take me for who I am because I'm great. And then I started also full of freckles, the drawings. And with that, I found a whole community that thought the same as me. And I'm not saying that I am body positive all of the time, but I'm certainly more body positive than I ever have been in my life. I am actually at this point the heaviest that I've ever been in my life, but I'm also the happiest. Why complain if you're happy? Next question. Who has inspired you the most during your art journey? I went to art school. A lot of teachers inspired me. They introduced me to a lot of art. That's in kind of a way very inspiring to know the history of art, to talk about art, to just take things and make art of it and all that stuff. So I had that very big journey of art education. All of the teachers, thank you. I also had sucky teachers, no thank you. But if I really have to say one person or one example, I must go for Fipa Snob. And she's actually, if I have an idol, she is my idol. She was an illustrator, would have been 100 years today. I love her illustrations, and I love her person as well. But her illustrations are very famous in the Netherlands and in Belgium. She has such a fun way of drawing things. Maybe I just show you a picture. This is like one of her illustrations, and of course they're seen in time, retro, but I think they're still very modern. it's just, she had her own style and she had her own voice in her art, and that's an amazing thing. I'm just in awe for her illustrations. I love them. Next question. How were you able to send that picture to Tess Holiday? I loved it. It's how I started following you. Well, you are talking about this illustration, and I never sent it. But there is a story behind this illustration. I just posted it on my Full of Freckles Instagram, tagged her, and that's it. She just picked it up. So that's fun. But she picked it up because I think she knew me already. She knew my art. And I know that because I went to the fashion festival in Liverpool and she was there as well, and I introduced myself and I was like, hi, I'm Full of Freckles, I make illustrations, and she said, yes, I know you. So that was fun. She knew me already. And she was talking like, yeah, I really enjoyed your artwork of Ashley L. Tipton that I made, and she saw that as well. So we were talking about my art and that was fun. And then in December I made her and I put her online and she just immediately shared it as well, and that was an amazing feeling. So thank you, Tess. Next question, and it's the last one. How did you find your voice as an artist? I'd love to hear your process journey on that, plus some tips and advice for others, something you learned along the way but wished you knew sooner in your journey. Well, that is a lot of question into one question, and I can answer that with the link to a video I did already. So watch that video. I will explain my journey of Full of Freckles and how I created Full of Freckles and that feel, but it's really a matter of trying. And I was thinking about this earlier, but it's not only the way you draw something, it's also about materials. Which kind of materials do you love and do you want to use in your artwork? Before this, I was mostly painting with acrylic paints. Apparently, I don't like it that much because I'm pretty lazy about making colors and washing brushes and all that stuff. One day I was collecting the color pencils and I just started using them. And I was pretty good at it, apparently. So I really loved it to make illustrations with that. It was an easy, fast way for me to draw something, and I could really focus on the subject of the illustration and not on the materials, so I needed that. So that is a tip. Know in which medium you want to make your art and make it your own. The other question that was there was, what would I like to know before? Not comparing myself to my peers. It's a waste of time to always compare yourself. It really isn't useful. You have to compare yourself to yourself. You can take an example of somebody and you can say, oh, I really want to get to that point, but don't say, oh no, they're at that point and I'm not and I'm bad, because that's not true. They were at that point one day as well, and they had to make the journey as well. So don't be lazy, do the journey and you will get to that point. That's why I also love to go through my old sketchbooks. It's like, oh my god, I've learned so much. So yeah, now I'm really finished. This was the last question. I really enjoyed doing this. As you can hear, I love to talk. If you want to do this more often, please let me know in the comments. If you have some questions for me, you can put them in the comments as well, and we make a next Q&A video in a month or 2 months or so. And what I have to say is, of course, again, if you like this video, just hit that thumbs up. If you want to see more of me, please subscribe, because I only need 7 people to have my own YouTube URL, and I really would love to have that. So subscribe, please. And just remember that I'm also on Facebook, on Instagram, and on Patreon. And Patreon is so cool. I can see it grow every day, and that's fun. I am at this moment, for example, doing a 100 days post-it challenge. So I make one post-it a day for 100 days. This is an example of a post-it that I made already. So head on over and go and watch it.